My name is ARYAMAN PRASAD and I have been a student in FIITJEE since 6th standard.
My name is Punita Prasad. I am Aryaman Prasad's mother. We chose FIITJEE from 6th standard onwards. So that itself was a big no-no for me. Means that is something, how can you start so early for a child? So that time my husband only actually went and he only enrolled him for the FIITJEE classes. So this was like, there was a lot of resistance from my side. So how he convinced me, and of course the FIITJEE, the whole environment, the whole curricular activities, I could see that difference in him, that it has helped him build his confidence as well as his knowledge part, and how he is cracking all the exams. So that way FIITJEE has really been a good motivator, and I am really very happy with that decision of ours, that yes, we enrolled him from 6th onwards, because otherwise generally FIITJEE is like we will do it after 9th or maybe 11th. So initially only we enrolled, so that was a good start, I should say, that it helped him on track always. He was always a disciplined student, and till today he is, and that's how he has kept his working, means that learning hours were never missed. So he used to just keep on engaging in good activities or maybe learning activities. So that ways we were very happy with the FIITJEE experience.
So in 6th I was in the Little Genie classroom program. In 7th, 8th I was in the Udayar 2-year classroom program, and from 9th to 12th I was in the Supreme 4-year integrated program. So back in 6th I had joined FIITJEE through the admission test. I wasn't thinking much at that time about writing JEE or getting into IIT as such. It was more of, I just wanted a new experience, some new exposure, meeting new kinds of people, and trying to gain more knowledge in general. So that was how it was throughout 6th, 7th and 8th, and whatever the FIITJEE faculty taught at that time, yes, it was a little more advanced to what we used to learn in school. So it was challenging, but at the same time it was fun, and slowly I was able to grasp whatever they were teaching. And it was never really very intense. They didn't have many classes in the entire week, and it was only like 3 hours in a day. So it used to be fun. The teachers also used to, crack jokes and things like that. So overall, it was not very intense. Only from 9th onwards did slowly I started getting the idea of joining IIT, but 9th and 10th went in online. So I didn't do much at that time. Online classes, there used to be many times when I got distracted. I'll just get off my chair and start roaming around. From 11th onwards, when we came back to the offline classes, that was when proper intense coaching started for JEE. And in 11th and 12th only, I too started working much more compared to what I did before, and that was when a major part of my growth took place to reach where I am right now. From 6th to 10th, whatever we used to study, yes, it was many new things I used to study. Overall, I used to stay interested in whatever I studied because, well, it was part of my passion. I always liked studying physics, chemistry, maths, and also whatever we did study, it helped me in many of my other exams. Like, of course, it helped me in my school exams, and it also helped me in many Olympiad exams. Overall, I too could feel myself, I was gradually improving. So that kept me motivated, and that allowed me to continue going, even though it was quite a long journey. From 6th to 10th, it wasn't very intense because one thing is that the number of hours are less. So they give you time to study at home, and they also understand that you have your school classes as well. So you need to study for those as well. Overall, from 6th to 10th, because your JEE is not a very important aim at that time, only from 11th and 12th you start focusing more on JEE. Before that, you will only look at things like your Olympiad exams, and well, back when I was in 9th and 10th, there was NTSC exam. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. So, and your board exam, of course, your 10th board is there, and 12th board as well. Because of these things, they understand that you need to prepare for these things, so they give you ample amount of time, and you can study at home as well. So overall, even though the classes are not as intense, it's fine because at that time you don't necessarily need to have very intensive coaching. You are still, it's a time to enjoy, and overall, despite it not being intense, it's perfectly fine. So in FIITJEE, in the classroom programs and all your friends will be different, the classmates will be different, teachers will of course also be different, the FIITJEE faculties. Overall, yes, it was new. When I first came, I didn't really know anyone, or hardly one or two who were from the same school as me. So yes, it was new. I made new friends as well. And all the teachers that came, they were also new to me, but they were quite friendly. And overall, it was never difficult for me to mingle with anyone, even my teachers. I used to have fun. There were many times when we used to play games and do things like that in class as well. Even when we had to study and all, our teachers, gave us our own freedom, our own space. And compared to school also, I would say, like in terms of how much fun I had and the experiences, it was more or less the same. The teachers helped me in the sense, even when I were to separately contact my teachers, they would always openly talk to me. Even if I had any questions related to the subject or just related to anything else in general, they would always be open with me and discuss with me. So that too helped shape my personality. And of course, my friends too helped me in that. All these things together collectively helped me shape me into who I am today. So once we get into 11th and 12th, FIITJEE got much more intense. So that's when we started writing many more tests as such. Whatever I studied in 6th and 10th helped me to understand further whatever we were studying in 11th and 12th. And all the tests that we did were, means of practice for us. That is one thing, of course. And it was also to understand the competition around us. We wrote tests of many kinds. We wrote tests within our center. We wrote tests at our state level. We even wrote all India tests, so many all India tests. All of these helped understand where I am standing at every point of time. They also gave me many tips on how I could improve further. So we had several assignments given to us by FIITJEE. A lot of resources were given, and ample time was also given for us to do all these things. So overall, slowly I kept doing these things, particularly in 11th and 12th. And these things helped me gradually improve over time. And that's how I reached where I am. All these studies that I did, they helped me, there were Olympiad exams. In 11th, there was NSEP, NSEC, those things. I tried them in 11th. I could not qualify them in 11th, but I again tried them in 12th. In 12th, I was able to qualify NSEP, NSEC and NSEA as well. And I was also able to clear IOQ. And in fact, I was even able to clear RMO and get selected up to the INMO level. I couldn't go further than that, but I was still quite proud to have reached where I did. And I had also tried writing the IIT Genius exam in 11th. I had tried it before as well in previous years, but I could not really get selected for the later stages. I tried writing it in 11th again, and I was able to reach the interview stage. And I again tried writing it in 12th, and I got the scholarship in 12th as well. So these things boosted my confidence before writing JEE. And of course, all my gradual improvement must have played a big part in all these achievements that I got. And I only got these because of gradually improving myself and putting in consistent work and effort over the years. So of course, there used to be many times when I used to take breaks from studies. And at those kind of times, sometimes I used to feel like maybe watching TV or playing some games as such. I used to understand that, okay, maybe I can take breaks, but at the same time, I should understand that I can't spend too much time doing these things as well. Especially during your 11th and 12th, where you need to be more serious about your studies. So I understood that myself. I always kept telling myself, okay, maybe a little is fine, but not too much. Initially, it was kind of like forcing myself, but slowly I was able to get used to it, and I was able to, bring myself to stop watching any TV or playing too many games. And overall, that's how I was able to focus more on my studies.
I am an ardent devotee of Bhagavad Gita. So that's how I used to actually tell him, quotations or some related material, as we all know that Bhagavad Gita is a very good motivator for every one of us. So similarly, I use the similar concepts for him too, and of course some casual chatting and some light moments with the family, with his father especially. He likes to chat a lot. So these were the areas with which he kept himself cool and motivated, and he just worked for his studies. So I think FIITJEE has definitely given that platform where he could just move on and on and on, and I'm very, very happy with whatever FIITJEE has done till now.
So in 11th and 12th, after school, most of my time at home was spent on studying only. I used to come at home back at most by 4:35 p.m. and I used to study on till at least 7 p.m. or so, sometimes a little more. I generally did not prefer studying late in the night. I used to sleep quite early compared to most other people. In 11th and all, I used to sleep by 10 o'clock itself. Only towards the end of 12th it did extend up to maybe 11 at most. So I used to study mostly after coming to school in the evening and sometimes in early morning as well. On days of holidays, I mostly used to study in the morning. At school too, I used to have a lot of self-study time, especially during just before, a few months before my JEE. We didn't have as many classes, so I used to spend more time doing self-study in school as well. And yes, that definitely helped me as well. So in 11th and 12th, most of whatever I used to study was just practicing and solving questions. So I used to come home around 4:35 p.m. in the evening, and I used to study till 7 p.m., sometimes 9 p.m. I used to do 2 subjects in a day. It could be physics, chemistry, math, physics, math, anything. Generally depending on what we studied in that day or in that week, and I used to generally plan out accordingly as to which 2 subjects I wish to do. And I used to do the material given by FIITJEE majorly, and sometimes a few other books of my own. And of course, whatever the teachers give me, whatever assignments the teachers give me. Towards the end, it became more of test analysis time. I used to write several tests, particularly towards the end of our 12th. And for all those tests, I had to do test analysis. So most of my time before my JEE used to go in doing test analysis. And it was very important to do test analysis because that's what helped me in understanding my mistakes and how to overcome them. And a lot of my improvement came after doing analysis for all these tests. So in test analysis sessions, I always used to firstly look at the questions that I got wrong, because those are the ones that give you negative marks. I used to see what mistake I made and how I could have made it during the exam, and how I can make sure not to make it next time. I also used to look at questions which I did not attempt. The reasons for that could have been that maybe I was low on time, or maybe I just did not know how to solve it. If I were low on time, then I would look to improve my speed, and if I had no idea how to solve it, then I would find a way to understand how the concept works. I would probably ask my teachers or my friends, or somehow get to know learn how to solve it. And sometimes I even look at questions that I got right, because there are times when you get them right by a little stroke of luck and things like that. So overall, I always made sure that every question in a test, I perfectly understood how to do a question and how to get it right fully. And that helped me, because as I did them for various tests, slowly I started understanding one thing, is that how the questions are asked, the kinds of questions that are asked, and the kind of questions that I can expect in my JEE as well. The nature of questions and the difficulty of questions. So FIITJEE used to conduct certain motivational sessions. It was mostly online, but they used to conduct them at regular times here and there. They used to conduct more of them too right before our JEE Advanced. Even like a few days before they had conducted one. They mostly only used to talk about they never talked about the academic subjects during those times. They just said whatever you have studied up until this point, you should believe in that, you should have trust in yourself. That is what's most important. I too used to make sure whatever I have done up until this point, that is what matters. I must not think about things that I could have done. There is no point in having regret. Whatever you have done so far, you should believe in that and believe in yourself, and go just give the exam. When it comes to choosing an institute, well, it would not matter in the sense that it is you who has to put in most amount of the effort. An institute can probably do 5 to 10% by guiding you and supporting you, but it is your efforts that really matter. I would suggest joining FIITJEE because the environment here is extremely friendly and stress free, and it helps a lot in growing yourself, not just academically but general in life as well, and it helps groom your personality overall. And a few other things I would like to say. One thing is that it is important to study, and particularly in 11th 12th you'll have to study a lot, but it is also important to take breaks sometimes, go out, play some outdoor games with your friends, because it is also important to maintain physical fitness. You can't neglect that, and your health is also important, so keep eating regularly. And another thing I would like to say is that whatever spiritual god that you worship, always have a connection with that, because it helps a lot, especially when you are feeling a little demotivated. Sometimes remembering your god's name helps motivate you back. And one more thing I'd like to say is that whatever efforts you put and whatever result you get, accept the result. Regardless of how you feel about the result, it is important to accept it, because you should not have regrets after your result. That is what is the most important. So I would like to thank the entire of FIITJEE for helping me reach where I did. I would like to thank my family, my parents, my friends, my teachers, because everyone played their own part in shaping me into who I am today. So I would like to thank all of them, and all the best to all the juniors who are going to give their JEE.